I'm Khyra, and you're listening to Elaborate with K. Elaborate with K. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Elaborate with K. So in today's episode, I wanted to talk about something that I'm sure everyone has struggled with at least once in their life. Definitely a thing that, I've had to learn how to deal with and manage. Today, we are going to be talking about time management. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm a college student, a track and field team member, president of our Black Student Union. I have this podcast. I'm a graduating senior. And I'm saying all of this to say that I have a lot of things going on. And granted, yes, they are all things that I really enjoy doing and signed up for, and I love them so much, but it's still a lot of things. And so what I've had to do is really learn how to time manage and figuring out what's going to be priority and how to prioritize my time while also, staying sane and not going crazy. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of advice and my tips and tricks for how to time manage best. So yeah. Okay. So tip number 1 is, this is really simple and it might sound kind of silly, but I think planning your outfits. For me, I know that if I have a busy day specifically, but even if I don't, I like to plan out my outfits the night before just so that it's something easier, something that I don't have to think about in the morning when I'm getting ready. Sometimes you lay in bed for an extra 5-10 minutes and then all of a sudden you're rushing to get ready. Or, you wake up and you're still kind of groggy, you're half asleep and nothing's really coherent at that moment. And I think that it's a super easy thing, take a couple minutes the night before, kind of just figure out what you want to wear, what matches, your plans for the day, what you're doing, the weather, all of that, kind of just picking out your outfit. And it's something simple, but it makes honestly a huge difference when I can wake up in the morning and just get dressed. I don't have to go in my drawers and think about oh, where's this, or oh, where's the shirt that I wanted, or anything like that. Just having it already prepped and laid out, it just makes it one less thing for you to have to think about. So I think highly suggest that. And going off of that, so as I mentioned, I'm a track athlete. And our practices are in the morning, and then I have classes and work and stuff all day. And so sometimes I don't have time to go back and, have a full outfit change at my apartment or anything. And so I'll pack my clothes with me, and just change while I'm at school. And I think that one of the big helps in that, and this is obviously determined on weather and your plans and everything, but I think a dress makes everything so much easier because it's literally, I also love rompers. I'm a huge romper girl, but a dress, a romper, whatever it is, super easy. It's literally just one piece of clothing. It doesn't take up a bunch of space. It's super easy to put on. It's a lot less work. It's a lot faster to put on just a dress and to put on 3 different layers of clothes or whatever. So I think, that's also a good tip for if you need another outfit change. Just bring a dress. It makes life so much easier. My next thing is writing out to-do list. I really like having just a list of things that I would like to get done. I make a list of everything that I would like to do, would like to get done, and then I go back and kind of order it, or I will mark which things are most important, which things I absolutely need to get done. And I do the same thing with my homework. I have a spreadsheet that I put what class it is, what my assignment is, when it's due, and a little checkbox so that I can mark off when it needs to be done by, what I need to do, all of that stuff. And at the end of the week, or whenever I have a chunk of time to do work, I will go through and kind of number off the assignments and be okay, I want to do this one first, this one second, and just kind of go in that order. And that's usually based off of either when they're due, and knowing obviously the things that are due sooner, I might want to start working on earlier just so that I'm not rushing at the last minute. But I also go based off, what the assignment is or how long I think it's going to take. Because if there's an assignment that I think is going to take me an hour versus an assignment that I think is going to take me 15 minutes, maybe I want to do the 15-minute one, get it out the way, or maybe I want to start working on the hour one so that I have more time to do and I'm not stressed about it when it's like the day before or whatever and I have a lot less time. So that's what I like to do. I also think it's important to kind of multitask when you can. And what I mean by that is recently, for example, this past week, one of my assignments was to listen to a podcast episode, and it was a 32-minute episode, which isn't bad, but it's for school. It's not like a podcast episode that I'm super excited to listen to. And so I multitasked and I listened to it while I was in the car driving back from school. And when I was getting up to my apartment. And I think by the time I got inside, I had maybe like 6 minutes left, which is not bad. And so I think that as much as it's like a small thing of, okay, but it's really important because one, I was still paying attention. I'm in the car, so I couldn't really be distracted by other things. Like I need to drive, pay attention, and I can just listen to it. But that way I also didn't feel like it was taking up time that I wanted to be using for other homework assignments or other things that I needed to be doing. So I think that was a great one. The next thing that I have is honesty, being honest with yourself, with your expectations and everything, and kind of just knowing that I can make a list of 100 things that I would like to do. But at the end of the day, I need to be honest with myself and know and understand that realistically, all 100 things on that list are not going to be getting done in one day. And if you do, then that's amazing, that's great, and that's going to feel like a great accomplishment. But I think that knowing that, one, you can try to estimate as much as possible, but you don't truly know like how much time something's going to take or how long it's going to take you. So I think that truly being realistic and kind of planning accordingly. So I know, again, for my assignments, I will kind of plan out, like, I think this might take me around an hour. This one's going to take me around 45 minutes. This one might only take 15, and kind of plan that way and see like which order I want to take. But again, knowing that there's a possibility that I don't get through this. There's a possibility that this thing that I think is only going to take me 15 minutes actually takes me 45. And, kind of just be willing to adjust. And be willing to reevaluate, readjust, and you have to be a little bit go with the flowy, if that makes sense. Just, we all would love to, in a perfect world, I'm sure we would have a list of things to do and we would get them done super quickly and have as much free time as possible. But reality, that's not always the case. And sometimes, you didn't get to finish that last assignment, or you had to stop in the middle of what you were doing because you have an appointment or something, and just knowing that, okay, you're going to figure out, maybe you work on that after your appointment, maybe you get up early the next morning and kind of work on it, or instead of watching that extra episode of TV before bed, you will work on that. So yes, I think just reevaluating, readjusting, and being honest and realistic with yourself. The next little tip that I have is to hold yourself accountable. Find an accountability buddy if you can. I think that it sounds silly, like a little buddy to tell you like, oh, you need to do this, but truly it is the most helpful. And I think that a lot of times, like even just having someone there working with you or doing stuff with you is going to make you feel so much more productive. So for example, as I am in my senior year and I'm almost at the halfway mark, I have started looking at different jobs and sending out applications and all of that. And it took a while for me to actually sit down and do it. I'd been saying, oh, I want to do this. Like, I need to start looking. I need to start actually like filling out the applications and sending them out and all of that. But when, as I mentioned earlier, when you have so many other things going on, so much stuff in your mind, like it's really hard to kind of sit down and work on something, especially with applications being something like more in the future. for example, like they just feel a little less immediate than the assignment that I have due in 2 days, or the proposal that I have to submit, or the podcast that I have to edit that needs to go up tomorrow, something like that. But what I found is so one of my really good friends, we are applying to kind of similar jobs in the same field. And so we decided that we were going to take some time every Friday, because we don't have classes, every Friday afternoon, like at least an hour, just like an hour or two, to kind of work on our applications and everything. And the very first time that we did it, we sat on her couch and we kind of just sat in silence for like 2 hours, filling out applications, writing our cover letters, revising our resumes and all of that. But it was so, so helpful, truly. One, just having that other body there and being like, okay, someone else is like here working on it with me. And like, obviously, we would check in with each other, be like, how's it going for you? How's it going for you? Like, what are you at? All of that stuff, and like being able to offer each other advice and suggestions, like, oh, okay, I found a position on this site, or this site has really good positions, or oh, like this company's hiring for a lot of things, like maybe we can look into that, or oh, I heard about something. So it's definitely helpful to have that person that you can kind of bounce ideas off of. You can look at each other's stuff, be like, how does this look? Does this sound okay? Does this sound weird? But it also, I think it made both of us more productive, because there's some things that they just feel so daunting. It feels like such a task to sit down and do it and focus on it, especially if you're like in a room by yourself and just trying to motivate yourself. And that can be a hard thing to do sometimes. So I think having someone there that's going to hold you accountable is a really good thing. So that's another one, just having an accountability buddy, someone that can hold you accountable, that's gonna look at you and be like, hey, this is not like social media time, whatever, like this is time to focus. But going off that, my next one was actually going to be to take a break and rest. And the thing with being busy and time management is that when you're planning out your day or your schedule, or you're trying to figure out when you're going to work on everything, the ideal thing in your mind is like, okay, let me plan out every single minute, let me use up all of the time that I have to work on things. So I'm schedule something from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 1, like, and just go back to back to back. And while that feels like it would be the most productive and beneficial, I promise you, it's not. It's really not. The way that our bodies are and our brain, like I'm not a scientist. I'm not taking a science class since like my junior year of high school. I am not planning to go into science or biology or anything. So don't take what I'm saying as like actual fact. I don't have any statistics or anything to back it up, but from my own personal experience and from the experience of people that I've talked to, our bodies need rest, and you need to take time off to reset, change your mind, step away from something for a bit, because truly, I know when I was younger, especially in school, I'd be doing homework and I would get stuck on like one problem and I would get so frustrated. But for me, that frustration was like, I just need to finish this, like I need to get it done. My mom would be like, why don't you step away, like work on another assignment, take a break, and then come back to it? And I was so stubborn. I'd be like, no, I need to finish it. But it is really important for us to take breaks and kind of let your mind have a rest and think about something else. And like, it might feel, it'll feel like you're not being productive if you're not doing anything, but truly, like, you can't work like 24 hours straight. You're gonna need to take a break and have a little bit of time off to decompress and like let your brain turn off for a bit. So for me specifically, unless I'm like super, super busy and I have like a ton of things to do, I like to at least make, my cooking and my dinner time are homework free as much as possible, right? So while I'm cooking, I might be watching an episode of something on Netflix, and then I like to watch another episode while I'm eating and washing the dishes and cleaning up after. And I try to make that as much of like a free time and a homework free time as possible, just because, especially with being in school and like having a busy college schedule, like college classes, I have classes that end at 10 o'clock. And that's really like, I feel like I'm at school all day. So just finding time where you can to take a break, or same thing if I'm in between classes, if I have like a 20-minute break in between my classes, like sometimes I will go and try to work on an assignment and not necessarily trying to finish it, but maybe I want to add a few more sentences or add a paragraph or two to the essay I'm writing or whatever it is. And I might do that, but sometimes I'm also going to be like, okay, I have 15-20 minutes. Let me just take this time and, watch a YouTube video, watch a TV show episode, listen to music, listen to a podcast, play a game, like do something to kind of take your mind off of that very work academic mindset, just because, you deserve and you need a break every once in a while. And so my last little bit of advice, and this is what I like to do as much as possible, is I like to dedicate or set aside a little bit of time for me personally, it's Sundays, and, just have some chill, relax, like work free, school free time. And it doesn't always happen. It's not always a possibility, or it's not always as long as I would want. But last year, I think specifically when I had my schedule, my routine, my time management like down, and I'd like to do Sunday resets, and that's still one of my favorite things. So every Sunday, I will try to take some time to, clean up my room, my bathroom, the apartment, just take a little bit of time to clean, eat my dinner, watch some TV, put my laundry away, pick out my clothes for the next day or the next 2 days, take a bath if I can, and truly just relax and get ready for the next week. And like I said, that's not always possible, but when it is possible, even if you have like 20 minutes free to just kind of relax and let your body decompress, I feel like in my personal experience, like I can tell that it truly makes such a difference just having that little bit of extra free time, whether it's an hour, 20 minutes, if it's a whole day, that's even better. But just knowing that like your body has a chance to kind of reset, because it is a lot and it can be very draining. And I feel like that's how a lot of people end up burnt out, is when, we're so go, 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 go. And you don't really get a chance to like rest, reset, and decompress before jumping back into another week and doing it all over again. And it feels like a nonstop consistent cycle. So again, taking the rest and breaks and time that you need when you can is truly it's a really important thing. And I think it's truly going to make all the difference. Also, using that free time to kind of invest it into things that you enjoy doing. And so if it is a hobby, or it can be a business that you're starting, as long as it's something that you're passionate about, it's something that you enjoy, that doesn't feel a whole lot like work. If you've been meaning to start that book, maybe set aside some time to read it, work on it, all of that. But yeah, I think the dedicating time to things that you like, and then making sure that you have time to decompress, whether that is, again, doing the thing that you like or doing absolutely nothing and just turning your brain off, is always great too. But yeah, those are some of my top tips and tricks for time management as a busy college student. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know any tips or tricks that you might have in the comments, any suggestions you would like to share with the rest of the world, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye. And yeah, talk to you next Sunday.